Peace. What is good, everybody? What is going on? It is the Joe Digital. Just wanted to check in with you all real fast, real quick, just to say what's up, see what is going, and ask you how your day has been going. Positivity and abundance. And I just wanted to pop in real fast. I actually was getting ready to take it down, and I was thinking about you all, so I just wanted to check in, say what is up, see what is good with you. I was getting ready to, I was actually getting ready to just meditate, you know what I mean, and I kind of wanted to share my routine with everyone. Hold on one second. I think I'm gonna pause this video. Yeah, I think I'm gonna share my routine with you all on my meditation routine. And by the way, that's my song that I was just playing earlier. Definitely check that out. That is in my playlist, my EXP Swerve playlist. All right, and go ahead and support that. But I just want to show you all, actually what I want to show you all is my routine on how I meditate. Okay, now when I meditate, there's two different ways that I like to meditate, all right? And one way is with my eyes open, and one way is with my eyes closed. It's definitely up to you on how you do it, all right? The way that I like to do it my meditation is I like to do what we call box breaths, okay? So in most cases, people will do them in 4s, but I'll do mine in 7, okay? So what I like to do is I like to breathe in, count to 7, then I stop, hold my breath, and count to 7. Then I breathe out, count to 7, and then I hold my breath, count to 7. All right. Now, when I breathe in through my nose. Okay. I hold. Then when I breathe out through my mouth with my mouth open, and then I hold. Okay. So what I usually do is I'll breathe in and count to 7. Hold it. Breathe out. Hold it. And I like to do that most times for usually like I'll do it like maybe 20 minutes. If I'm, just getting my day started. But if I'm in a rush, I like to wake up earlier and meditate longer. Just because the whole thing about meditation is balance, okay? And if you are very anxious, it is something that you can use to kind of balance yourself and realign your energy so that you may be able to be more present, okay? And one way that you can be present is to watch your breath work, okay? Because your breath is life, okay? Breath is prana, breath is energy, okay? And essence, pardon me, your breath is your essence, okay? Your essence is your breath, okay? And so the deeper that you breathe in, what you are doing is you are calming your nervous system, okay? What you're doing is you're calming your nervous system, and you're training your body on how to relax and not take on so much stress, okay? And throughout time, as you do it longer and longer, as you meditate longer and longer, not only are you training your body to be less stressful, you're actually, in return, you're training your body to deal with more stressful situations, okay? And believe it or not, a lot of people in the world don't take full breaths, okay? Like, with everything going on, with the hustle, the bustle, you know, the coming, the going, a lot of us are, you know, get up, you go to work, or you know, you get up, you go to work, or rather, I'm moving too fast. You get up, you do your morning routine. It could be make breakfast, make coffee, get your lunch ready for work, you know, take your shower, brush your teeth, whatever, get dressed, leave, you go to work, you do a full shift, you come home, you know, some of us, you know, we have kids, so you're dealing with kids, you know, you're making sure to get their homework done, you're making sure that, you know, they're squared away, you know, if you have a spouse, you're making sure you cook, or, you know, or a relationship or whatever, you're making sure you're present in that. And then also, some of us too, you know, we have parents or grandparents that we look after as well. So then your day is over. So like in all of that, you might just be like, you know. And so what meditation does is it shows you how to relax, and it shows you how to take in that full breath and release, you know. And what you're releasing is anything not serving you. What you're breathing in is everything that will serve you. Okay, so what it's like is it's like a cycle. Okay, you breathe in and it goes up to your third eye. When you breathe out, it goes down and it comes up your chakras and it comes out. So what you're doing is you're collecting all of the energy that is no longer serving you, and as you breathe out, you're sending it back into the universe. And what the universe does, or what nature does, or what Mother Earth does, or Source, you know, whatever you subscribe to, what that does with that energy that you breathe out, it takes it and it transmutes it. Okay, it takes the negative energy and it makes it neutral, or it makes it positive. Okay, now if you ever noticed in nature, we, for those of us that love to go into nature, we go in nature, and when you breathe in oxygen, and when you breathe out carbon dioxide. Okay, now the trees, on the other hand, they breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen. Okay, so even though their cycle is different than our cycle, it's a full circle. You know what I mean? Hit that like button. You know, so that's why it's very important to be in nature, because you learn in nature that everything that you are no longer in need of, nature will take it and make it positive. Okay, it will take our carbon dioxide and turn it into oxygen. Okay, and they're in a hurry to get you that oxygen, and then you're in return, you're in a hurry to get that oxygen and get rid of that carbon dioxide. So it's balance, you know, because without breath you don't have life. Okay, so you breathing is an indication that you are instantly manifesting. What you're manifesting is you're manifesting life. You're manifesting life force energy. All right, and by you exhaling, nature is manifesting life force energy. You know what I mean? And by them exhaling oxygen, you know what I mean? It's like a balance, you know. And I love to get out into nature, and I love to take my shoes off, and I love to You know, the reason why I love to take my shoes off in nature is because what happens is if you know about your shoes, you know, if you know about shoes, when you wear shoes out in, you know, like let's just say city life or rural areas or whatever, your shoes have a sole. Okay. Now, when you're in nature and you take your shoes off, what ends up happening is you connect with the earth and you get rid of. I'm trying to remember. Is it the positive ions? And you take in the negative ions, which it's a very good thing. So what happens is all the trauma and the stress that you have in your body, the earth will take it. You know, it will go down through your feet and go into the earth, and in return it will charge you with energy. Okay, so it's an exchange. So what happens is you take all your baggage and all your negative energy and emotions, and just 20 minutes in nature, 30 minutes in nature, an hour in nature, um what ends up happening is an instant exchange of energy. You're getting rid of negative energy and you're taking in positive energy, and by you receiving the positive energy, the earth or mother earth or Gaia is taking in your negative energy and making it positive. Okay, so you will be charged instantly, you know, just by being in nature, even if it's for 20 minutes, even if it's for 15 minutes. Okay, for those of us who work a job, you know, and you complain, you let's just say you complain that you never leave until you leave, and then when you leave you get into a car or public transportation or whatever it is you do, and you never get a chance to get out into nature. I encourage you to take your lunch break outside. Okay, take your lunch break outside. You grab a chair, you grab a milk crate, whatever you can find, a pallet, a brick, whatever. You put it in some grass. You take your shoes off. Trust me, nobody's watching. Nobody cares if you take your shoes off. That everybody has their own thing going on. You know, you take your shoes off, even if it's for 20 minutes. You eat your lunch, or if you're into your fast, you drink your water, or you eat your fruit, and you take your shoes and socks off and just put it in the grass. If there's no grass, you just put it in the dirt. And trust me, you're gonna feel excellent. Now, what happens with the body is every 28 to 31 days, every cell in your body does a full reset. Okay, so you're constantly becoming a new person every month. Okay, so like your body's doing the same thing. It's getting rid of the cells that it doesn't need anymore, and it's creating new cells. Okay, so you know, you always hear me talk about you are what you eat. You know, and what you eat, you can literally become a new person by next month. You know, that some months are only 28 days, some months are 31 days, most months are 30 days. You can, you know, literally recharge by taking your shoes off, and you know, even if it's on your lunch break, or if you're not at work, I encourage you to be out there, be out there for at least an hour or hour and a half. You don't have to sit in the grass like this. You can just walk around, but definitely take your shoes off. Take your socks off. Don't be afraid to step in puddles. Don't be afraid to step in mud. Don't be afraid to step in, now if you're afraid of worms and stuff like that, I wouldn't encourage that, because, I'm not suggesting that. That's crazy. But, what happens is you recharge, and all that negative energy just goes into the earth. And speaking of lunch breaks, you could get the best time to be in the sun is from I guess like 10, anywhere between 10 o'clock in the morning to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. I'm kind of pushing it. I'm not being exact. My numbers could be, I might be stretching it a little bit, but hey, earlier is better, and the longer you can be out in the sun is better. And when you're in the sun, you recharge as well. What recharges is your third eye recharges. Okay, now I was just talking about when you were in nature with your shoes off and saying how you recharge with your feet, you know. Now, when you're out in the sun, that's how you get downloads. That's how you get ideas into your third eye, into your pineal gland, okay? And you know, that's you know, a part of opening your pineal gland. Your pineal gland is your third eye. I always talk about the third eye, but your pineal gland is your third eye. How you open your third eye is through the meditation, okay? So when you meditate, you do your box breaths. I do 7. Most people do 4, you know, because, you know, a lot of people don't, you know, maybe they don't want to hold their breath for 7 seconds. They just want to, you know, get more reps in by doing the 4, you know. And, you know, whatever works for you. But that's how you open your pineal gland. Now, when your pineal gland is open, your third eye will open, and when you are getting downloads from the sun, that is how you will have epiphany moments. That is how you will have moments, you know, aha moments, where you will find your purpose. You will find different ways to tap into your potential. Your intuition will grow, your discernment will grow, just by being in tune with nature, by being in tune with God, or in the present moment. You know, bear with me, y'all. Like, I'm going live, but you know how it is with the Wi-Fi. So if my video skips around, you know, have no fear. You know, I'm still over here. But anyhow, I'm hoping that I'm bringing quality to your YouTube experience. Let me know if I am. Definitely hit me in the comment section. Definitely feel free to hit that thumbs up. Definitely feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not as of yet. Share the content with a few like-minded people. And real quick, shameless plug, I just want to let you know, if you want to purchase any of my books, the links are in the description or in my bio. You know, if you want to purchase any of my books, the links are in my bio. The links will be in my description. When I end this video, I will put a description up in the comment section. I will pin it, and you can go to the website and you can, you know, feel free to get any of my merchandise if you are motivated to do so. All right, all my links are in the description. All right, but yeah, so anyways, like I was saying before, you know, before I said all of that, when you sunbathe, you know, or you get out into the sun, some people like to sun gaze, but I don't recommend sun gazing during those hours. I would suggest sun gazing around like 6 p.m., you know, when the sun is not as strong, you know, because you don't want to really mess with your vision, you know. So I would suggest, you know, that's an even further way, because, you know, as you all know, the eyes are the window to the soul. So when you look into the sun, you know, you're going to get downloads into your soul as well, you know. So the downloads from just being in the sun go into your third eye, which is your thought life. And sun gazing is a way to get downloads into your soul. So that can be a full cycle as well. So I gave y'all 3 different cycles. I gave y'all the meditation, which is breathing in, the box breaths, breathing in, breathing out. I gave y'all the benefits of walking with no shoes in nature. That's a cycle. I gave y'all the benefits of cell regeneration, cell rejuvenation through what you eat, and just from natural genetics, as far as what your body does from a month-to-month basis, you know. And then I gave you the cycle of being in the sun, you know. Now, what can I say? What else was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? You know, those are some of the things that I do to be more optimal with my approach, with how I want to approach my day, you know. And listen, as a sidebar, you know, life is still life. You know, some days you wake up, you really don't know if it's going to be a bad day or if it's going to be a good day. But when you meditate, what that does is, you know, even though meditation won't necessarily solve your problems, but it'll help you get rid of them. You know, like it won't make the problem go away, but it will make you be present enough. Meditation will make you be present enough to really analyze everything that's going on, so that you can determine, is it really a problem, or you know, is it just an opportunity to be shown a way on how to solve that problem, or on the flip side of that coin, you could wake up and think it could be a bad day, and really it ends up being a blessed day. And meditation can then in turn be a way of showing gratitude, and being present enough to count the blessings and be in full gratitude and appreciation for the small things, or for the grand things, the big things. You know, whether it's a bad day or a good day, as I always say in my videos, you can always make a choice. You can always choose to be positive. You can always choose to have a good day. I got that from, y'all know my mentor, Ralph Smart. Go and watch his content. You can always choose to have a good day. Even if it's, the worst day ever, you can still choose to get through it through, one, choosing to have a good day, choosing things to be grateful for, be in gratitude for. And I like to always practice letting enough time go by and letting enough things happen, so that way when I do go back and analyze the problem that I thought I had, other things have happened afterwards, so that way I can say, oh, this didn't end my world. I went through something terrible that didn't end my world. Other things happened. I was able to stop, take a nap, get some rest, maybe eat some food, maybe take a warm shower or a cold shower, whatever. Take a walk out in nature, and then when you go back to think about the problem, you can say, okay, well, it didn't defeat me, but that's a confirmation. It didn't defeat me, but what can I learn from what I just got finished going through? Because at the time I felt like it was going to destroy me. And you can go back in fully healed, and you can look at it from a fully healed perspective and see what it was that you were supposed to learn about said circumstance or situation. Or if it's a good day, you can just, as I said earlier, be in gratitude, and appreciation. And maybe celebrate, maybe buy yourself a juice, get you a juice or a smoothie, or get your favorite food, whatever it is you're into. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything super duper healthy. It could be however you like to celebrate. Live your life. Live your life, and this is what we're here for. I always tell y'all that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I saw a video the other day. I have to reference it. I can't remember the content creator's name, but this lady said that what she said was, we were already great, but how did she put it? We were already great before we got here, but we're choosing to have a normal experience, but be great in it. Like when we come here to Earth, like we're choosing to, even though we're great, because we're all fragments of the Most High, but we're making a choice to be normal, but show how we can be great, show others how they can be great, in spurts, and then go back to the essence. You know what I mean? So that was very profound. I was glad to catch that video. That was on TikTok. For those of y'all who check me out on TikTok, yeah, I definitely don't post enough over there. I need to post a lot more. I be on there. You know what I mean? I be on there. But my content that I like to watch is everything is about, everything is about spirituality and just conscious stuff. And of course I like my jokes and stuff like that. jumping out of the bushes. I told y'all that. I told y'all that in one of my other videos. You know, but I like to diversify it a little bit. But mostly I be over there just trying to, you know, sharpen my blade. You know what I mean? Try to keep my mind sharp. And I like to see what other people are coming into, you know, as far as like with the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding, you know, and the understanding. And I enjoy learning, not, you know, not just for my benefit, but just, you know, hopefully I could share something with you all, maybe to help y'all be great, or shift your perspective so that you can see things maybe the way you need to see it. But me inspire you so that you can see it yourself the way you want to see it yourself. You know, like not just me telling you how to see anything, but for you to enhance your own thought process, and so that you can have your own thoughts and say, oh, I thought of this and then I came up with this. You know, it's never about me. You know, I always try to be super transparent, you know. It's never about I'm telling y'all this and I'm telling y'all how to, you know, think or be. It's more about encouraging you to look within yourself and, you know, and learn you. I said something in my last live, I think it was last night. I think I said something, what was it, innerverse? You know, that was the word, innerverse, because we always talk about universe, but the innerverse, you know, because what do we learn? As within, so without, you know. So like as things are going on our exterior, the same thing is going on the inside. You know what I mean?